Welcome to the Proper Cap, a Madcap coffee podcast. This is part 2 of our conversation with Erik and Layah of Carbon Stories, Madcap's content partner. And in this episode, we're going to be diving into their connection with coffee, creating content with passion, lessons they've learned in leadership along their journey, and a few other tidbits. So thanks for listening and stay proper. I have a question about coffee.
Okay. Oh gosh.
So y'all do a lot of coffee content. We so you came with us to Central America.
Sure
it's like
did.
almost 2 weeks ago now. Mm-hmm. You know, you were going back. I can't remember, were you looking at receipts or old posts? I forget what you were doing.
Yeah.
You're realizing how much coffee you can consume, pay for, purchase.
A lot.
But I know you were talking about how like part of your hustle in getting clients was like just going to shops, coffee shops, and just shooting content. I mean, like, I've made this content for you. But yeah, what's the deal with coffee shops? Like, what's your deal, man? Like, I mean, we took you out there, and I mean, you know, Erik was jumping on the cupping table with us. Like, he was in it. Found himself
notes.
A clipboard, started taking notes.
Listen,
they're like, I don't know if we can buy this coffee. Erik didn't like it very much.
No, literally.
No, but and is this a shared love? I actually haven't talked to you much about your coffee consumption. So, like, what's the deal with y'all in coffee shops?
Functionally, that's pretty much as far as it goes. But also, I'm all about spaces and how I feel when I walk into the spaces. So I like that aspect too of like exploring cafes. But as far as like farms and stuff, I'll go and like really engulf in it. But I couldn't tell you. You're talking about notes, and I'm like, yeah, that's totally. But he's definitely a little more invested.
It's
on the
grown.
research side and the love
and
side.
it's like grown. I think it started out functionally. The first time I was drinking coffee, we had 2 church services at our church, and so I was running sound, and I needed to stay awake through both of the services. So I was drinking my Folgers, a lot of creamer though. I mean, those little packs, good 6 of them for a 8-ounce cup,
making a mini latte.
I mean,
a little brevet.
More than latte. It was just milk with a little bit of coffee.
Yeah.
What's that called when you're almost flipping it?
Yeah.
1 part coffee, 8 parts
I think that's called
creamer.
church coffee.
Yeah, that's church coffee.
Yeah,
Church
literally.
Folgers coffee. I remember that was like originally where it started, like the consumption. But then along the way with, I would argue, hustle culture of like, we're going to come up with a creative idea. We're going to build something. It was like, coffee's going to help fuel us, And so then I remember like the Starbucks purchases, Big B. I got a little white lightning from there.
Oh my God.
Extra pump of white chocolate for show.
Crazy.
And then once
Wasn't that your basketball name in high school? White Lightning?
It.
What?
White Lightning?
No, man, it's more like John Paxson. Yo, Paxson.
I have seen, I will say,
He was on my
Bulls
wall. I
vibes.
put him on my wall. I was super
Paxton?
into basketball. He was definitely on that.
the one time so far that I've made Trevor mad was at our hoop run. There was like a layup or something that either I missed or just didn't. Some dumb decision on the court. I just remember him being like, "You gotta lay those down. Oh, okay, I'm gonna lay that. I'm gonna lay it up. I promise. I'm gonna do better next time."
Yeah.
You have to be. You need to be. Don't change
But that's
that.
yeah. Anyways, go ahead. I'll let you
I need
finish
to.
before I add my little.
On the coffee journey, though. I remember the Lantern actually was the first coffee bar I went to.
First espresso shot.
Yeah, it was Lanterns. For me, growing up, bars were just places we weren't allowed. Like at Applebee's, you're kind of walking by it like, ooh, wow, they're smoking over there. That was when that was allowed.
I'm thinking about Bitter End.
You're thinking of Bitter End. Was that the first spot for you?
Yes.
For me, the Lantern was like the first coffee shop. Like my little brother played piano there. And I remember the next day after school driving all the way downtown and just like sitting there. Like I didn't have anything to do. I wasn't doing my homework. It was like senior year of high school. I'm out already. What do they call it? Senioritis. There we go. Senioritis.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. I was gone, ready to just be done with it. But I just remember the environment. I really liked the fact that everybody was productively working on something. They have their little nooks there. And it was like, I don't know what they're doing, but I know it's important to them.
Yes.
And something's happening. Yeah, they're at a shop. So I think that was like that first kind of like gateway drug, if you will, to actually experiencing coffee shops. And then as Carbon started, we needed places to work. Lion Street Cafe. I think they opened at 7 and closed at 7. So we would post up there. I mean, plug in hard drives, like had the full on booth, which was crazy. but started to like meet different people from being there. They'd be like, what are those stickers on your laptop? What is it that you're interested in? Like, what are you guys working on? I see you here all the time. So it was almost like-minded people kind of congregate at these places. As you all know, with the history of coffee, they said the Enlightenment era can be attributed to the fact that they were able to stay up later and actually get stuff done and ideas be going all in this like central location. So it's kind of like the interest has grown along the way. We would be traveling for a client. I remember there was a time we were in North Carolina, I think it was, wherever Hex Coffee is. And I think that was their name. Is it North Carolina? Yeah. We landed. Mind you, I don't know anything in North Carolina, but I'm like, let me look up a coffee shop. We can't check in for another 2 hours. We go to the coffee shop. Sure enough, they're playing a little Sylvan Esso, artist that I understand and I know. So then I go to the barista. I'm like, oh, you like this artist? And we're talking about music. And then they're telling us where to go eat at. And so it's like-minded individuals, no matter where I've been. It's been 15 countries now total that I've been able to go to, 13 of them for work, and then 2 of them were just vacation that we've done. But every time we find coffee, and there ends up being like-minded individuals that introduce us to something new. And like I said, that creative energy that keeps flowing. And so one thing about Madcap that stood out through the years was like the quality that consistently was there. I mean, I've legit been to 3 locations in one day and had a meal at each spot, and it was the same meal across the state.
That's a lot of honey.
A lot of honey was being used there. But yeah, I mean, I think also there's this thing about, they say 10,000 hours. Apparently there's a new study that it's even more. But I think the amount of times that a cup of coffee or even a bag of coffee has been in front of the device that I'm taking a photo on is astronomical. And so I think subliminally, even when I'm shooting now, whether that be for Madcap, we used to do some stuff for Trade Coffee, there's just like ways of capturing the cup and things that we know how to do just off of how many times we've shot. So yeah, one of the specific files I was looking for was in like 2017 or 18. I came to Madcap, and it's on my Instagram or Facebook. I can't find it, but I literally say a dream project for me would be to one day capture for a company like this and go to one of their producer places. And I like,
he's been trying to find it for months.
I have been looking. I have found so many old stuff. That shot of Casey that I sent you all, like what in the world? I had to check the tattoo to make sure it was Casey. I didn't know it was him.
Wild.
I found a lot of
in-house
old stuff.
competition. He's back here shooting photos.
Yeah. A lot of stuff. And in the Sovereign Guard one too, the one where he's outside. I don't even know what he was doing there that day, but I shot a lot of Madcap stuff just for fun. But it like dialed in. Some people could consider that the sacrifice. Some people could say like, I remember there was time photographers would come to me and be like, you shouldn't be taking pictures for free for people. Like it's not good. It's going to make people then have more content and all. But I'm like, if they see my value, they will want me there to do it on a more dialed in way. I had a friend before be like, you tag Madcap so much, they don't show you no love. And I'm like, and this was back when we weren't doing anything with Madcap. It's so funny. Dre.
Called out. Look at him now, Dre.
Bro.
Yeah,
Had
Dre.
to. Because he wasn't wrong. In some people's mind, they'd be like, you're doing so much. But for me, I was like, I'm getting better at capturing content. It's something I genuinely rock with. I mean, you saw the first shop we had gone to. I wasn't capturing even for them. I was capturing because I love what I'm seeing. I learned about the ball. You guys were telling me that they freeze to like just have another process. And then now when I came back and talked to other coffee people about it, they're like, wow, that's really cool. Like different experiences I've learned along the way. So I think ultimately coffee in general, coffee shops, they've definitely been this kind of hub for us to grow in. And then along the way, I've been learning a lot more about coffee, and it's just been enjoyable, man. Goals that we've had, getting a Linea Mini. We bought it right before they came out with the new model, but it's like we got one, and that's fun, and learned how to pull espresso shots and learn recipes there. So slowly but surely, I've been realizing like it's something that I enjoy a lot, and I love educating people about the psychedelic caffeine.
I mean, I think what's cool, I've heard both of you saying things that sort of speak to this idea. I mean, as an entrepreneur, right? You, you both have talked about doing content because it's something like you're doing it for yourself. It's something you enjoy. You're not necessarily worried about like monetizing it and I'm doing this for someone else. You're doing it for yourselves because it's content you want to capture, that you appreciate, that you enjoy. And I think even, thinking about my own journey, I mean, starting Madcap in Grand Rapids, nobody wanted me here. Nobody wanted the type of
It's crazy
coffee experience we were creating. And I wasn't doing it for them. I was doing it for me. And it was something I wanted to share, both in how we presented it and because I wanted it to be about the stories of where the coffee was coming from and the relationships we were building through it. And I even think about, hearing about like, I always related to hearing Founder's story when they were bordering on bankruptcy in the old Brassworks building. And like they had started sort of as this beer brewery that was like trying to brew beer for the masses, and things weren't working out. And then when like things were just about to go under, they're like, you know what, screw it. Let's just start brewing beer that we like. And like, then suddenly people started becoming interested. And I think, and you hear that story time and time again with entrepreneurs who have found some level of success in some capacity. And it is interestingly way more like you're willing to sacrifice more and hustle more when it's like, if you don't like this, like that's fine. But like, it's not about you. And I think at a certain point with maturity and growth, you find a happy medium where, I mean, Madcap has been like, hospitality has become more and more a priority than ever. And so, but it's still, serving others, but at the same time, not compromising the things that we value most in terms of the product and services that we're giving. And I hear you guys saying the same thing.
I mean, you have to, because especially in a space so creative as what we're doing, you're never going to appease everybody. So it's like, once you learn that, it's just like, I just got to do what I feel. And also like, I just got to do what I feel and what I want to do at this point and what's been working and go from there.
And I mean, while we're talking about Carbon's content mainly, Layah's YouTube channel, I think, is a huge testament to that. Her highest viewed video is something that she made that we were watching from other people right before. It's her delivery, like the whole process. And
also solving a problem. Like when I started on my pregnancy journey and I was looking for information, I didn't see anyone look like me. And I felt like there were some gaps missing. And also, I had never heard any positive experiences from C-sections. And so I feel like I had a responsibility in that space, but also for us to look back on. I watched that video just if I ever need to cry or remember like if anything or remember what I'm capable of, I always use that video as a reference. And just the amount of people that have come to me and found comfort in that, like they're in the hospital and they're about to have a C-section and they can go and look at that video. And not to say every situation is different, every labor is different, but for them to find comfort from me telling my story out of passion and just wanting to do it and trying to fill a gap is really special. So,
but it's huge to just do what you rock with, and there's gonna be other people that will end up rocking with that. And like you said, this is some adjustments that you make. We'll finish a video. It'll be, the music is like perfect in my mind. Again, the trailer for the video that we just sent. Music's perfect. But if, Grant's back in town, if Grant's like, yo, we got to switch this music up. It doesn't go with what I want. I'm ready to, that's the like customer service side of me. That's like, let's find 5 other songs that we want to try out. Cause I do also then care about making sure that Madcap is presented in the way you all want to see it done. Like, that's exciting as well, to be able to be like, yo, this piece of content that we created, shares you all from the correct lens and highlights your value and does it in the style that you want. That's enjoyable too. So it is a balance for sure. But finding where you want to balance. This is why I don't do wedding videos, because I will sit down with the bride and go down every list of every shot. I've legit gotten like a list of shots before and made those adjustments. But that's almost too much for that industry. You'll never get paid what you're supposed to get paid for.
And every bride is so different.
Everyone's different. But then there's some people out there who are like, this is what we made, take it or leave it, no edits, you don't get. And that's a method. I think their clients are happy with, we'll get whatever they do and that person's happy. For us, it's a little more of like it's a collaborative process on how we'll get stuff out for clients and such. So,
but at the end of the day, if Carbon's name is on it, you want to be proud of that.
For sure.
Yes, definitely.
For sure.
Definitely.
For sure. That's where, like, we have some content, even sometimes that's just not social media shareable. Like, it might just be an internal. There's one of our largest projects we did with Kent Companies was a
I thought she was gonna say
tool
herself
company. Her Self Media was fire though.
Yes,
that one was
I
definitely
don't think we
shareable.
shared
Yeah,
that one.
we did share that one.
Okay,
once.
okay.
That one was hard to share because it's more film, and
Yeah.
we don't do like films as much. But if you ask the team
And,
to this
yeah.
day their favorite project, they all will say,
Yeah.
Her Self Media. We all were there. We had Malik there as like an on-site
On-set
barista.
barista.
Like we literally brought the Linear Mini. It was in Detroit. And so the client, they were like geeks. We like had
t-shirts
shirts
made for
that
them.
had their logo and our logo. We went to
But
town
another
on
reason
it.
we don't share that is because that was like kind of dabbling in the bigger production side. And we realized that's not where we want to be consistently. So that's another reason why we don't share it, because it's like we don't want people asking for that.
But it was enjoyable. It was definitely enjoyable.
It was great.
But there's other like internal videos that I'm like, if you need to learn how to use a jackhammer, like I have a video about that, and it's pretty fire. But it's just not going.
Wait, can you send that my way?
If you just so happen to need to see photos of like 1,000 mini tools,
yes,
I got you.
Oh my
Because I've
goodness,
taken
like these
photos
detailed
of
micro.
about 1,000
Oh my
tools.
gosh! But stuff that like we learned from that project that then applies to others.
I was gonna say that kind of goes into the 10,000 hour concept.
Yeah.
Like you gotta mess around with your craft
For
to be able to roll out to a client and then just fire off a project.
Yeah, because essentially it's the same process that we use. Sometimes they'll have heavier amounts of resources involved, but we're doing the same thing, just different ways. That kind of even goes into how we quote for stuff. We got to a point now where, Chris Doe is another YouTuber that has kind of helped on my journey of like even communicating what we do. But for projects like this and clients like you, this is what we charge just based off of our experience of doing it. And then again, like I said, for those who rock with us, they're like, we understand your value is bigger. The United Nations is a great example of this, where they know that my day that I'm out there shooting for them is bigger than just like the photo video. They know that if there's a running interview that I need to go get across town because this dignitary is in town from somewhere, they know that I can go do that. I can go navigate the subway to make it shake, and I'll be there to represent them well and all of that. It's bigger than just like, we need somebody with a camera to show up, and this is how much money we have. So, and also, I think a lot of people, they're buying our product, but I think they're also buying into who we are as people too, in the team. They know what they're going to get. They know what the vibe is going to be like. So I think that's an important piece that people expect, and why people, choose to work with us too.
That's why you don't need an About Us page.
That's why
honestly,
like,
and also we do really well with telling the story in real time.
Yeah,
real time.
If anybody follows us on social, we try to be really active on there, and even on our personals. So
we do
kind of a flex. Like, at this point, don't put an About Us page.
Honestly, we honestly just some pictures. We have a group photo
and breadcrumbs. I like to break up content into like breadcrumbs that lead to a slice of bread that lead to a loaf of bread. We do need more breadcrumbs on the website, just because it's somewhat outdated too. Our Madcap content on our website isn't even the best. Like, it's our stuff from COVID times, I think, versus, you got the bag design has changed, we dialed in photography.
Oh man, that's some old stuff.
Very old things. We're working on it. Hey. We're working on it for sure. Again, Cobbler's son. What was this? We won't remember, but remember there was a saying while we were in Guatemala that they said that was like the cobbler's son has no shoes. Yeah. But there was something she said in Spanish that I tried to repeat, and I was like, I'm going to start using that instead.
Casey would remember.
Casey definitely recuerdo.
That was really funny.
Recuerdos remember, I think. I don't know. I was doing well when we were down there.
You were
Casey. I was almost fluent. Casey, though, no hiccup.
We went to Barcelona for our honeymoon, and
we did go to Barcelona for
thankfully you knew some Spanish.
I could speak a little bit. Poquito. El baño, agua.
Flexing on the honeymoon.
Agua con gas.
Well, there's a story in there.
Which one?
We didn't have a traditional wedding.
Yeah,
because we wanted the honeymoon.
We knew
to be
that's
in
another
2 different countries.
Pro tip.
Yeah.
If you're just not as extravagance of individuals, our wedding wasn't massive. It's also subjective.
We didn't do sit down reception. We were not like 25 minimum per person on plates. We were like, we're gonna get some hors d'oeuvres, and you guys are gonna hang out here for about an hour.
Yeah, we had pictures. AB DJ.
Then you're gonna leave.
And we're out of here. Like, it's not.
And then we're gonna dip. And then we had more funds for the honeymoon, which was cool. But AB DJing, that's another pro tip for your wedding. Definitely have AB DJ. Yeah. No matter what.
Well, I'm gonna piggyback on we've gotten a couple marriage pro tips now. What about a business pro tip?
Business pro tip?
Like what is, because I think we could easily go down like what are some of the biggest mistakes you've made as a couple owning a business? What is something you've learned the most? You're like, oh man, if I had known this
If you
before.
could tell 19-year-old Erik and Layah.
My number one suggestion for humans at all time is create daily. You just you
great,
keep
Erik.
going. You just always
That's
keep
great.
creating in whatever avenue that is, right? Like if you're a doctor, it's going to look different, but create opportunity for yourself, create chances to do the thing, build that muscle memory. So 19-year-old, I would have been like, yo, shoot every day, like keep going to create. But on the flip side of like mistakes or things that we may not have navigated, I think it would be like learn people more. I don't know how to word that, but yesterday when I was speaking to a class, they had asked like what the biggest thing that was like jarring or like I didn't realize was going to be a problem or something to navigate. The work that we actually do right now isn't, because of the skill set and such, it's not complicated. I can get almost any project done, even on the editing side, very efficiently. It's the navigating people in the right place and such that honestly is almost more difficult in this season. It's not something that I don't think we've failed at. Like again, the question, there's some advice out there in hustle culture of like fail fast and all these things around failure. Again, maybe it's because like my mindset is not looking at the things as failure, but I just look at it as like growth opportunities and things that I know I could do better at. But like learning emotional intelligence and like being intentional about the way that again, people are treating each other within companies and such. I think that that's something that early on I just didn't think would matter as much. We were just a group of friends to begin with, you know. Now we're at a point where everybody that works for the team, we've met
There's more
because
to
of
lose.
the company.
Like I feel like before when we started, it was like people are still living at their house. They're not really paying bills or anything. Nobody's married. Nobody has kids. And I think as it's kind of growing with us as we grow. And I think once you get to that place, there's more at stake and there's more you have to like think about. Everybody at Carbon, this is their only job, you know. So, but versus before, like I said, nobody had bills. Nobody, you know. I mean, it was kind of chill. We're just going with the flow. So I think it's growing with us, and as it's growing with us, we kind of have to pivot and think about things that we didn't have to think about more. And a lot of that lies within like people and individuals, and like really taking that into account more than we did before.
But so like having a lot of empathy, putting yourself in other people's shoes, just saying like, okay, if I know this is a good human, why did they respond this way? Or why is this not getting done? And again, you can't say that for everybody, but I can say everybody on our team is a good human. And so it's like, I don't know, that type of mindset towards helping is just definitely better than, I don't know, early on, I just didn't really think about it. I was just like, head down, let me just do my work. And then also even taking the responsibility of leadership. There was a time before where I was just like, I still like to word it often that everybody, we work together. Like nobody works for me because I mean, I'm vacuuming the floor. So it's like I'm working, you know, just as much in the weeds as anybody else. But at the same time, like as a leader, I do still have to have answers for people on where we're headed, why we're headed this way, some type of general direction. Now, definitely giving, I loved what we did in the fall where each person kind of said what they want to see happen within Carbon in the next couple of years. Also open up the space for people to say what they dislike about Carbon. Like I want to make sure people can communicate what they want to see done differently and such too. But going back on the responsibility side, I used to like run away from being like the captain, but it was actually after I took one of those like Enneagram personality tests and it like came out as captain. I was like, okay, I guess I'm a captain. Mind you, we're like 6 years into the business at this point. It's like, you didn't realize that in 2015. But now I'm very much like, okay, since I'm deciding to be the captain, how can I do this better? Again, I enter in Simon Sinek as my YouTube history. Like, how can I be a better leader? Leaders Eat Last I haven't finished the book, but I learned so much from just the couple chapters I was able to read that just felt very practical. Knowing that like, however, my obedience to like my calling and my growth is going to affect so many other people. And so if I decide that I'm not going to uphold the standard or I'm not going to continue to grow and get better, it's just going to affect everybody. So I think that all kind of plays into what the biggest like things we can learn from. Again, it's just like emotions and individuals and figuring that aspect out once the work is done. Because also like as a business, you got to do what you're doing well. Like you will get a feedback from clients, you will get a response from the market, but once that's figured out decently well and you're happy about the product or service you're providing, the actual, you know, working with people internally and stuff, that's going to be huge and matter. So
That's great. That's awesome.
Any other questions?
Should we ask the last question? We'll put it out there, and then I'm curious.
Get in there.
So, can you share a proper tip, something that's like unexpected, that improved, like it could be a thing or a practice or whatever that improved your quality of life?
Improved quality of life.
Yeah, like think of this as like an unpaid ad. Like, is it a
Okay.
diaper bag? Is it a,
Yeah.
you know?
I know you guys are in, like you mentioned, steak. Like you guys have good taste
I think
and
so.
high efficiency of life. So
Yeah.
I'm curious of.
Oh my gosh, so many. I think lately something that we have been eyeing and that we're like putting on our goals list is a sauna.
Anytime we've experienced that, it's been
Just physical
great.
body health. I think
Yes.
in general, like we just went and got massages, like. So I think just in general, physical body health. But we recently experienced a sauna.
Are you looking at a certain kind? Because my wife's gone down this route too. And
Did she
there's
talk to you about how like there's a European country where they all live longer because they
Yes.
like are in saunas? Yeah.
and there's different types. There's some that are like better
Yeah.
for your. I don't even know.
I haven't even gotten that far yet.
Okay.
I was in there. I conquered my mental state of being in there for 20 minutes. So I'm like, okay, I can do this, but also I feel really good. So that's something that, but I feel like there's a lot of things. Hydration, liquid IVs.
Yeah.
That's something that it's on a bougie side, but it's still something that has benefited us. And I think
Yes.
it's something that we value. Like he's coming from a country. He's been on, like on different planes, shaking different hands in different people's faces, but also it's draining, your body, elevation. So you come back and you do hydration therapy. You go and get your liquid IV in your arm.
Yeah.
So that's something that, I don't know, there's a lot of
I was
stuff.
gonna say, I'm trying to think because
There's
it's
so
like
much.
we got a Tahoe, and I was like, wow, why did we not have a truck before?
Yeah,
Meaning,
I'm
like,
trying to
'cause
get rid of my car.
we carry equipment everywhere, and I just remember that changing how we packed up because
And a
it
child
was
and
like,
a
I have to show you
stroller.
guys. I have to show you guys my car currently, and I'm like, I need a Tahoe.
yeah,
It's full. I'm not joking. It's
just
full to the brim
max
because
with
I have
props
an
and everything.
event this weekend.
So it's like a Chevy Tahoe. I want to shout
So
out.
we need
you know,
Chevy to
Yeah.
sponsor
Yeah,
Carbon.
Chevy big
sponsor,
sponsor there.
please.
But then it's also like having the right camping gear. Snow Peak, like
Mhm.
they have made camping for American style is like rough it. You get your Coleman, the cheapest whatever.
Yeah.
You eat beans, and hot dogs. But like
Yeah.
Japanese camping is like you're
Yeah.
having a full on A5 Wagyu.
I mean, I see
mean,
Eric's
have you seen
Instagram.
it?
Yeah.
And he sets up
Bro,
the Snow Peak
Yeah.
setup
The Snow Peak
at
setup.
Carbon.
we've gotten complete ends of the spectrum when people see it. We've had like my side of people back home. They're like, "That's too much. Like you're doing too much." And then we've had the, "I need to come with you."
Yeah, I want to
So
be there.
It's
So
really funny.
I will say probably the biggest thing would be nature in general.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
you guys have seen a lot of, I'm sure people have seen all of the statistics and this is a positive thing that can occur for you. I will say nature has, it just helped as like a reset. And then really centers around knowing what fills you up. What she's saying, physical health has also been another huge one, but knowing what fills you up. For me, it is time alone. Like I need time by myself to process all of the billions of ideas that occur on an average day. But then, like being able to be out in nature and just kind of do that. Sometimes I'll go make coffee outside just for fun. I can't wait for the weather to break here, so that me and Enzo would like go to Millennium Park and just cook some salmon by the water. Like it's just fun, being outside. And I don't know, there's like physical elements that I think I can't even put into words that occur. So if there was one suggestion or thing,
It's
nature.
fine.
Nature.
Nature, it'd be
He's
nature. But then
he's
Fine
selling
with you. I thought
nature.
you was gonna say fine with you. What fills you up.
and find that in general,
And I feel like
but try
it's
nature.
changed so much. We've literally grown up together, so it's funny to see the things change.
Yeah.
I was definitely more introverted, and I think now I'm like finding out that other things fill me up that didn't want. So like
Layah's in
hanging
a
out
play.
I'm in a musical.
Musical.
So being around people that I've never met and like finding commonality, but like also coming out of my shell. But I was saying that to say like they invited me bowling tonight, and I'm like I should go, but also like just being around people sometimes is
So almost two
fulfilling.
different advices. Be around people.
No,
by yourself.
bottom
No.
line.
Together.
Figure
What
out-
works for you.
Figure out
Find
what
the
works
thing.
for you.
Yeah.
I've seen
Explore
y'all's
different
team
things.
excursions.
Yeah,
Like, you
we
take
do
the
have
team
some
out to
excursions.
nature.
Yeah.
We do have some excursions. We went out to Joshua Tree a couple years ago.
Do they all appreciate?
Yeah,
the
everybody's
nature trips
camping.
y'all do?
We're going out to Snow Peak Way.
I gotta say,
She's the least, but
my
still
back
will
is
be
hurting
down.
thinking about it. I'm the least probably.
But
now I
still
do like
will
to be
go.
outside.
Yeah.
Love the beach.
Yeah.
Love going on walks.
Grilling. I mean,
Grilling,
The
I'm-
lamb chops.
we'll
Layah
invite
makes
you guys
on some,
over.
Yeah.
when we
right,
pull
let's
out the
go.
grill.
When the
Yeah,
weather
yeah.
breaks, and
Lamb chops.
I want
tried
to camp
put
at
it
Carbon.
on.
Yeah.
It's a vibe. We've done that
You guys
before.
gotta come. But as far as like the hiking, I can't sleep on the ground anymore. I think it's after having a kid or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
I was 5 months pregnant when we did that camp. The
Wow.
one
Yeah.
camping trip.
Big camp is the large camping
Yeah.
trip we do. It's really fun. I mean, out west is so different, like in physical structures here.
Yeah.
So it was nature though in general has
Yeah.
been a really good reset.
There you go.
I mean, I'll piggyback on y'all and self-inflatable air mattresses. Like when you're camping enough,
Yeah.
and then you get to be old, you're like,
They don't.
I mean,
mean, those-
then,
yeah.
you gotta, but you want to keep doing it. So
Dude.
the air
Yeah.
mattress, man, the self-inflatable air mattress.
Yeah.
Solves
You
it.
camp a lot.
Clutch. No, we've been planning some camping trips for the summer, but I'm like,
Ooh.
we have a house, you know,
You're that
and
guy.
I'm like,
What's the point? What
yeah,
are we
we
doing
pay
here?
for a house.
Why
Why
would
are we
I
gonna
not
pay to
use
sleep outside?
How many days are you wasting? Divide the mortgage
It's
by
something
30.
about-
Yeah.
It's something about waking up sweating. You know,
So
like
fun.
Yeah,
or like not knowing
Why do
what's
you need a
outside of
sauna
your
if
tent.
you wake
know,
up
not
sweating?
knowing what's like
Exactly,
running
yeah.
around your tent.
right.
You know,
And we have a dog. I don't know how he's gonna react,
Mm.
but I
Dogs are
am
definitely-
intrigued to camp like
Yeah.
one night of the year.
One night
Maybe
of
they
the
do
whole
make
we
it
have a
maybe.
couple camping trips coming up.
We've got some
Hit,
coming
hit
up.
us up.
Yeah.
I mean, your style of
Really
camping
fun.
sounds great.
It is fun.
It's
I'll
we
bring some
definitely.
Exactly.
The good thing about us, people know what they're going to get when they come anywhere with us.
Yeah.
You're going to get the highest quality, you
That's
know?
what I'm
We'll
talking
make it
about.
shake
So
for sure.
we're a little on the bougie side, but we also like it to be a vibe. You know,
Yeah.
we want people's experience.
Like you're
to be
never eating hot dogs camping with us. That's
No.
just not a
I love
thing.
it.
good. I think I made a seafood boil.
Yeah, full on seafood boil. The
Usually-
best one she's ever made was out west.
Yeah.
But it was partially we
Off
were
the
on the
ocean.
off the
Mhm.
ocean. You can
Fresh.
smell the ocean. Fresh crab. It was delicious.
Mhm.
That's the style. we
Pizza,
take with
we're
us every
making-
time.
Love it.
Wood fired pizza.
Wood fire pizzas.
So-
Again, shout out Snow Peak.
Yeah.
So yeah, the suggestion is
It sounds like camp gear.
Camp gear.
It's nature,
Go
but then
outside.
what to get camp gear. I
Yeah.
actually have an influencer code from them.
Yeah.
So like if you use the code,
Mhm.
I get a kickback.
He also
Hey.
has an Instagram dedicated to.
Yeah, dedicated
You
to
ever?
outdoor
I
stuff.
don't know. I would say in our community growing up, it was like, you smell like outside.
Yeah.
You ever heard
Like
that
if you
before?
came
Yeah.
inside and they didn't, you
And
didn't
so
rock with it.
we took that
Mantra.
bad term or whatever, and he took it and made it good. So
Smells
he has
like
an Instagram
outside.
called "Smells Like Outside."
And
All
that's
right.
just where
Now
I'm
the
at.
world knows.
Outdoor
Yeah.
stuff.
So smells like
Yeah.
outside.
All things outdoors from Eric's perspective.
If you smell Eric, he probably smells like outside. So
Uh,
Oh my gosh.
I was like the most time I spent with you was when we were in Central America, I
Yeah.
think, or when we were balling, which you
Mhm.
smell like.
that's
not-
hooping.
Oh,
That's
And
what
then
I'm
we were
hooping.
all outside together when in Central America. So it's wait, where can people find you all?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, just Instagram. That'll lead you to what you need to find.
Yep. So Layah Lachey.
Yeah.
And then my personal is Erik Lachey.
And
And
Carbon
then
Stories.
Carbon Stories is where you'll see the professional work. There's other accounts out there.
You find
We'll tag you all
You'll
in the,
find
in
Yeah,
the show
Hot Bean
notes and
Water,
stuff.
I
Yeah.
Need Naps,
Yeah.
NYC
Savvy,
Doves,
Be Savvy, Do
Be Savvy, Do
Better,
Better,
Pure Joy Only.
Pure Joy Only,
Enzo
Lafayette
Lachey,
Haven, Enzo
Lafayette
Lachey.
Haven.
There's a lot of
Just to
stuff
name
out
a few.
there. Just
Yeah.
a
I'm gonna
few.
need to get that list.
Plug,
later.
all the plug. Please go look at Hot Bean Water because that's coffee. If you didn't know, Hot Bean Water.
That's
I
a new
was-
one to me. I'm gonna go follow
I
that.
was geeked about that for a second,
Yeah. What
and
was
then
that, like
it just fizzled out.
9 years ago.
Yeah, literal 9 years ago. I got it from a friend. She had said it, and I was like, "Good idea." And then I told her, "I'm like, hey, I'm
And we
doing
usually
this
snatch
IG.
up the domains.
Yeah,
too.
You gotta
Yeah.
carbon waffles. Like you
Yeah.
gotta, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Buy the domain.
Yeah.
The opportunity cost of losing that. Come on.
Yeah, you gotta buy the domain.
I can relate. There's some I got some weird Madcap ones out there. I've been saving them in my back pocket.
Mad
so-
spat, mad pat,
Yeah.
mad pat.
I mean, even my business partner Chris, I didn't even know he had this. He's like, "Hey, I grabbed this. Do you want to? I'm gonna let it expire. Do you want to grab it and add it to your list? Because I know you got some." And it was like Fly Madcap or something like that .com.
for when we get a plane.
I love
for when
that.
we're serving coffee on a plane.
Ooh.
That's amazing.
Like that. I don't know.
Little morning experience.
Or,
Fly for a good 30 minutes.
yeah.
Come right back down. Full
Or
on.
at your airport near you.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe we
which-
might get to that.
I mean, you're in GR Fort,
Right.
so
And Detroit coming soon.
Detroit
What?
coming soon.
That's
Are you
awesome.
taking over the Illy bar? Because you know how much I dislike that. So
And they got that nice fountain fixture there.
they did have the
yeah,
fountain
that's
fixture.
never. I've never seen it running.
Really.
Oh, I have once. It's pretty sweet actually because it like
It'll stop
jumps.
it, right?
Maybe once or
Yeah.
twice I've seen
If
it.
you spit across the room, it's basically
the
the
same
same
It's the
thing.
same thing.
Exact same
Yeah.
thing. Water's just as dirty.
Before we get into spitting more, which we did a lot when we were cupping together. But
did.
hey, I appreciate you all.
Thank
you.
We
Yes.
really value our partnership with
Yeah.
Carbon. I think I appreciate having gotten to travel with you and see you more firsthand because usually I'm just the weirdo like hovering in the background at the shoots and like
I wouldn't say weirdo.
trying not to get in the way or just let the team do their things.
I wouldn't say weirdo.
And
There's
so-
a few times you'll pop in, just look around and then pop right back out. You're checking on the bag.
Just-
You got to
yeah,
make
just-
sure the
just
bag's
looking.
doing what it's
Curious.
supposed to
I'm
do.
just curious. Every once in a while, you let me make coffee.
Yes,
and
fire
things. But
photos.
no, really appreciate you all do exceptional work, and
Thank you.
we're very lucky to have you all to tell our story through the mediums that you do. So thank you for that.
Honored
Thank
for the
you.
opportunity.
Yeah. Grateful.
Thanks for being our guests. Yeah, thank you all. Thanks again for being here, and stay proper.
Sure will.
That